What makes a roadside attraction legendary? Is it the size? The strangeness? Or maybe the pure, unfiltered American spirit that leads someone to build a 6-story elephant just to sell a little real estate? Today, we're ranking the most legendary roadside attractions across the US to definitively crown the country's favorite. Now, we're not just throwing darts at a map here. We've ranked these American icons using a special formula, a mix of visitor reviews, how often they show up on social media, and, most importantly, the sheer weirdness and wonder of their origin stories. These are the places that make you slam on the brakes, whip out your camera, and ask, why? And you'll want to stick around, because this isn't just a list. You might think you know the winner, the absolute king of the roadside. But the bizarre, almost unbelievable story behind our number one spot will change how you see road trips forever. It involves a reclusive millionaire, a fleet of classic cars, and an empty stretch of Texas desert. Let's get into it. Part 1, the countdown begins. Number 10, the Blue Whale of Catoosa, Oklahoma. Kicking off our list is a monument to love, concrete, and classic Route 66 kitsch. The Blue Whale of Catoosa isn't just some big blue whale in the middle of Oklahoma, it's an 80-foot-long anniversary gift. Back in the early 1970s, a local man named Hugh Davis wanted to build something special for his wife Zelta, who collected whale figurines. Most people would have just bought another figurine. Not Hugh Davis. With help from his friend Harold Thomas, he spent 2 years welding a steel frame and hand-mixing cement to create this smiling, slide-equipped behemoth. What started as a private swimming hole for their grandkids quickly became a public sensation. Locals and Route 66 travelers couldn't resist the smiling giant, so Hugh brought in tons of sand, added picnic tables, and opened it up for everyone. For years, it was the place to cool off. The park eventually closed in 1988 and fell into disrepair after Hugh passed away. But the community, refusing to let a local legend fade, rallied together to restore it. You can't swim in the pond anymore, but you can still walk through the whale, have a picnic, and marvel at what is probably the world's most heartfelt anniversary card. Number 9, Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox. Bemidji, Minnesota. Next, we head north to the land of 10,000 lakes, where a legendary lumberjack has been greeting visitors since 1937. The Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox statues in Bemidji, Minnesota, are true giants of the genre and pioneers of the roadside colossus. These weren't just built on a whim. In the depths of the Great Depression, Bemidji's leaders needed a way to spark tourism, so they planned a winter carnival. Taking inspiration from the region's massive logging industry, they decided to make folk hero Paul Bunyan their mascot. A local construction company was tasked with bringing the legends to life, resulting in an 18-foot-tall Paul Bunyan and his trusty sidekick, Babe. Babe the Blue Ox actually started life on a truck chassis, parading through town and even traveling to St. Paul for festivals before being permanently parked next to Paul in 1938. The statues were an instant hit, attracting motorists and cementing Bemidji's place on the map. In fact, Kodak once called them the second most photographed statues in the United States, right behind Mount Rushmore. They're a tribute to a time when communities used larger-than-life imagination to put themselves on the American road map. Number 8, the mystery spot Santa Cruz, California. Our number 8 pick isn't something you just see, it's something you experience. Tucked away in the redwood forests near Santa Cruz is the mystery spot, a place that's been baffling visitors with its supposed gravitational anomalies since 1940. The official story goes that a group of surveyors discovered the area in 1939 and noticed their instruments went haywire. They opened it to the public a year later, and a legend was born. Inside a rustic, tilted cabin built on the side of a hill, you'll see balls appear to roll uphill and watch people stand at impossible angles without falling over. Your whole perception of height and size gets completely warped. So, what's really going on? Theories range from a magma vortex to a buried alien spacecraft. Scientists, however, point to something much simpler: it's a brilliantly executed optical illusion. The cabin is built at such a severe angle that with no true horizon to look at, your brain gets tricked. It uses the crooked lines of the house as its reference point, creating all the bizarre effects. But honestly, knowing the secret doesn't ruin the fun. Whether it's a prank of physics or a masterclass in perception, the mystery spot remains a mind-bending, must-see detour. Number 7, the Cabazon Dinosaurs. Cabazon, California. If you've ever driven on Interstate 10 near Palm Springs, you've seen them. Towering over the desert like prehistoric sentinels, the Cabazon dinosaurs are true icons of the open road. These concrete behemoths are the dream of one man, Claude K. Bell. Bell was a sculptor who worked at Knott's Berry Farm, but he never forgot a childhood trip to see Lucy the elephant. He decided that one day, he too would build something huge. In 1964, he started work on his masterpiece, a way to attract customers to his nearby Wheel-In Cafe. Over 11 years, using salvaged steel and concrete from the interstate construction, he built Dinny, the 150-foot-long brontosaurus. But he wasn't done. He then started work on a 65-foot-tall Tyrannosaurus Rex. Bell originally wanted Dinny to have glowing eyes and spit fire, which he thought would scare the dickens out of a lot of people, but those features were never added. After Bell passed away, the property changed hands, and for a while, a creationist museum was housed inside. That's gone now, but the dinosaurs remain, more famous than ever thanks to appearances in films like Pee-wee's Big Adventure. They are a monument to one man's singular, colossal vision. Number 6, Kahenge Alliance, Nebraska. What do you do when you want to build a memorial for your father, but you live in Nebraska where giant stones are in short supply? Well, if you're Jim Reinders, you use vintage American cars. Welcome to Kahenge. Reinders, an engineer who had once lived in England, was fascinated by Stonehenge. When his father passed away in 1982, he came up with the idea of building a tribute on the family farm, but a distinctly American version. So, during a family reunion in the summer of 1987, Reinders and about 35 relatives got to work. They gathered 39 classic American cars, a pickup truck, and even an ambulance, arranging them to perfectly mimic the proportions of Stonehenge. A 1962 Cadillac even serves as the heel stone. The entire thing was then spray-painted grey to look like stone. At first, many locals hated it, calling it an eyesore. One neighbor famously built her house at an angle just so she wouldn't have to look at it. But over time, the world came to appreciate its quirky brilliance. Kahenge isn't just a replica, it's a piece of art that perfectly fuses ancient mystery with modern American nostalgia. Number 5, Wall Drug Wall, South Dakota. Our number 5 spot isn't a single object, but a sprawling, 76,000 square foot monument to one of the greatest marketing ideas of all time. It all started with a simple promise: free ice water. In 1931, deep in the Great Depression, Ted and Dorothy Husted bought a tiny drugstore in Wall, South Dakota, population 231. For 5 long years, business was painfully slow. Then one hot summer day, as Dorothy watched cars speeding past on the highway towards Mount Rushmore, she had an idea. What did those people really need? The answer was relief. She convinced Ted to put up signs along the road advertising free ice water. Before Ted even made it back to the store, the first thirsty travelers had arrived. And they never stopped coming. From that one simple, brilliant idea, Wall Drug exploded. Today, it attracts up to 20,000 people a day in the summer. It's a massive complex of cowboy-themed stores, restaurants, an art gallery, and yup, even an 80-foot brontosaurus. You can still get free ice water and 5-cent coffee, but you can also buy everything from cowboy boots to jackalope statues. It proves that sometimes, the best ideas really are the simplest. We're about to break into the top 4, the absolute titans of the roadside. These are the ones that have gone beyond kitsch to become full-blown cultural phenomena. But first, if you love discovering America's hidden gems and their wild stories, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And let me know in the comments which attraction you think will take the top spot. You might be surprised. Part 2, the top 4. Number 4, Lucy the Elephant. Margate City, New Jersey. Coming in at number 4 is the oldest surviving roadside attraction in America, and a true architectural marvel. Lucy the Elephant has been standing tall on the Jersey Shore since 1881. Lucy wasn't built for a circus or a fair. She was built to sell houses. A real estate developer named James V. Lafferty wanted a spectacular way to lure potential buyers to his land. So, he commissioned a 6-story, elephant-shaped building that would be impossible to ignore. Lafferty even held a patent giving him the exclusive right to construct animal-shaped buildings for 17 years. He built 2 others, but only Lucy survived. Over the decades, Lucy has been a restaurant, an office, a cottage, and even a tavern before Prohibition shut it down. By 1960s, though, the grand old elephant had fallen into serious disrepair and was scheduled for demolition. That's when a group of concerned citizens formed the Save Lucy Committee, raising the money to move the 90-ton structure to a new home and begin a painstaking restoration. Thanks to their heroic efforts, this National Historic Landmark still stands today, a quirky and beloved symbol of American ingenuity. Number 3, the world's largest ball of twine. Quirky City, Kansas. You should know, there's a fierce debate in the world of giant twine balls. There's one in Minnesota built by a single person, and another made of nylon in Missouri. But the undisputed heavyweight champion, the largest ball of sisal twine built by a community, resides in Quirky City, Kansas. And it's still growing. This journey into twine history started on Christmas Eve 1953, when a farmer named Frank Stober began rolling a ball of spare twine. 4 years later, it already weighed 5,000 pounds and stood 8 feet tall. In 1961, Stober gave his colossal creation to the town, where it was placed under a special gazebo. But this is no ordinary monument. It's a living, breathing piece of community art. Every August, the town holds a Twine-a-thon, where residents and visitors can add their own length of twine to the behemoth, which now weighs in at well over 20,000 pounds. Local businesses have paintings of the twine ball in their windows, and a painted twine stripe on the sidewalk guides you on a tour of the town. Starting as one man's thrifty habit, it has become a global icon of community spirit, growing bigger with every visitor. Number 2, the Corn Palace, Mitchell, South Dakota. Our silver medalist is not just a building, it's a folk art masterpiece that gets a complete makeover every single year. The world's only Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota, is an agricultural cathedral that draws 500,000 people annually. The story starts in 1892. South Dakota was a new state, and Mitchell wanted to prove it had a thriving agricultural climate to attract new settlers. Their idea? A palace covered in the bounty of their own harvest. The original Corn Palace was a wooden building designed to host a fall festival celebrating the growing season. It was such a hit that it was rebuilt in 1905 and again in 1921. In the 1930s, the iconic Moorish-style minarets and onion domes were added, giving the building its unforgettable look. But the real magic happens outside. Every year, the exterior is redecorated with intricate murals made from thousands of bushels of corn, grains, and grasses. A new theme is chosen, and local artists create these stunning, temporary masterpieces. What started as agricultural advertising has evolved into a beloved and unique tradition, a multi-purpose arena wrapped in a constantly changing skin of corn. Part 3, the number 1 spot. Number 1, Cadillac Ranch, Amarillo, Texas. And that brings us to number 1. The most popular, most iconic, and most quintessentially American roadside attraction. It's not the biggest or the oldest. It's a quiet, strange, and beautiful monument in the middle of a Texas cow pasture, Cadillac Ranch. But the story you think you know is just the beginning. In the early 70s, a group of San Francisco artists calling themselves the Ant Farm were looking for a patron for their radical art. They found one in the most unlikely of places, Stanley Marsh III, a reclusive and eccentric Amarillo millionaire known for his bizarre pranks and public art projects. He was the perfect partner. The Ant Farm artists wanted to create a monument to the golden age of the American automobile, specifically to the rise and fall of the tailfin. They proposed burying a series of Cadillacs nose down in the dirt, angled to match the Great Pyramid of Giza. Marsh loved it. He gave them the land and the money. In 1974, 10 Cadillacs, from a 1949 Club sedan to a 1963 Sedan de Ville, were driven out to a field along Old Route 66 and unceremoniously plunged into the Texas earth. But here is where the real story begins. This was never supposed to be an interactive exhibit. It was meant to be a silent graveyard for the American dream car, slowly decaying as people watched from the highway. Almost immediately, though, people started stopping. They climbed the fence. They chipped off pieces for souvenirs. And then, they started painting. Visitors brought cans of spray paint and began leaving their mark, covering the classic cars in layers of psychedelic graffiti. Now, Stanley Marsh and the artists could have stopped it. They'd have built higher fences or hired security. But they did the opposite. They embraced it. They realized that the public's desire to participate wasn't ruining the art, it was completing it. The sculpture wasn't just the cars anymore, it was the act of people interacting with them. Cadillac Ranch transformed from a static monument into a living, breathing, constantly evolving canvas for the American public. The layers of paint are so thick now, you can barely make out the car's original lines. That is why Cadillac Ranch is number one. It's a work of art that was given to the people, and the people finished it. It's a pilgrimage spot on the most famous road in America, where anyone, for the price of a can of spray paint, can become part of the story. It perfectly captures the spirit of the road trip, freedom, self-expression, and the beautiful, strange discoveries you make along the way. It wasn't just built on the side of the road, it was born from the road itself. From a concrete whale built for love to a palace made of corn, these attractions are the heart and soul of the American road trip. They prove that the best parts of a journey often aren't the destination, but the strange, wonderful, and brilliantly bizarre stops you make along the way. They are reminders to take the scenic route, to pull over for that weird-looking sign, and to embrace the glorious absurdity that makes this country's highways so special. These places aren't just oddities. They are markers of imagination, community, and the enduring idea that if you build something strange enough, they will come. What did you think of our list? What's the weirdest roadside attraction you've ever visited? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the heart of Americana. Until next time, keep exploring.